Why is it not focusing? Okay, my name's Kaylee, and this is my microphone prop. It's actually a baton, but I desperately need something to hold in my hands to make this video. Okay, I had a goal for 2025 to watch 50 movies because I love movies and I feel like I fell off the wagon. And so the goal was to watch 50 and I did it. So this video is just to talk about the movies I watched. All right, let's run it back. Start in January. Actually, if I want to start, I started a movie on New Year's Eve and I finished it on January 1st. It was A Quiet Place 2. I don't really remember it. Did I write a letterbox? I've got my iPad for me. Didn't write a letterbox review. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. That's all my thoughts on that. I then watched The Incredibles, which is a perfect movie. If you haven't seen it, it is about a family of superheroes trying to adjust to life in the regular world where they aren't allowed to be superheroes. And genuinely, it's a perfect film, and that's all I got to say about that. And then, of course, Wicked. It was the third time I had seen it in theaters, and I truly have no words to say except for incredible. Speaking of, I then watched The Incredibles 2, which, if you didn't know, came out about 14 years after the first one. And I'll say this, it's good, but it's no perfect movie. So if you'd like to watch it, you can. It's a fun family film. Enjoy it. Live, laugh, love, Incredibles. And then I went and I saw Wicked again in theaters. So I saw Wicked again. Okay, we get it. And then I watched Juror Number 2, starring Nicholas Hoult, streaming on HBO Max. And the vibe of it is there's a group of jurors and they are sitting in on a crime, and then one of the jurors, Nicholas Hoult, starts to wonder if he committed the crime. It's a little bit of a drama. It's kind of like a little too dramatic, but like I had fun watching it. So if you have 2 hours to spare, I mean, it's not the worst thing you could put on. And then Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting is honestly in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I have a soft spot for any movie that takes place in Massachusetts or Boston because that's where I'm from. So it gives me intense nostalgia, and it is just a beautiful movie. If you've never seen it, it's starring Matt Damon, Minnie Driver, Robin Williams, and it's basically about a small town boy in Boston that couldn't afford college. He's working at, I think, MIT. I might be wrong. As a janitor, solves a crazy math problem, and a professor basically takes him under his wing, and it's about his journey, basically, of learning how to love himself. And tears are shed. It is a crier for me personally. I would recommend any and all to view Good Will Hunting. Hey, Jurassic Park. I'd never seen it before, okay? That's what this year was all about. I'd never seen it before. And I'll tell you what, it was stellar, as expected. Jeff Goldblum, okay, I get it. And practical effects. Oh my God, the dinosaur puppets. Come on! It was so good. Moving on to February. A Real Pain, which is the Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg movie that Jesse Eisenberg wrote. May have won an Oscar for, but I do not remember. Do not quote me on that. It is just a slice of life movie. These two men that are cousins are getting together to go on a journey to see where their grandfather or grandmother grew up, and there's some Holocaust things going on because they're Jewish, I'm pretty sure, And it's just really like slice of life. Like they are just regular guys and they're cousins and they're distant, and it's just so like doesn't even feel like you're watching a movie. It feels like you're like on this trip with these two because they're just Kieran Culkin I think won the Oscar for this, and he deserved it because it was, unless he didn't win it, then he deserved it and he was snubbed. But it was just such a good watch, and it's quick. I think it's only like an hour and a half. What can I say? Wild Child. Okay. It's a comfort movie for me. It's in the era of like girls boarding school England vibe, starring the one and only Emma Roberts. Basically, this girl is in LA and she's being a little bit of a brat because her mom passed away and her dad sends her to boarding school and she hates it there, but then she, through the power of friendship, actually loves it there. So, sorry, 5 stars from me, love her. And then The Parent Trap, of course, the Lindsay Lohan one. I've never seen the original. And I love that film. If you've never seen it, it is a remake. And it's basically these two twins are separated at birth, find each other at a summer camp, realize they're twins, and then switch. One goes back to mom, one goes back to dad, but they swapped, and the goal is to get their parents to have to switch them back and hopefully get back together. Kim Possible the movie, so the drama. This was incredible. I think it's a DCOM. I think it qualifies as a DCOM, but Kim Possible, if you don't know, is an animated show, teenage girl spy. She's a high schooler, but she's also like does secret missions to defeat evil, of course, and she's a cheerleader, and she's just overall a badass. And in this film, it's about the difficulties of balancing the two. She's a girl. She's had crushes, maybe she's had a boyfriend or two, and she's got to save the world, but prom is coming. She needs a date for prom. And then she gets this boyfriend, and they go to prom, but her best friend since kindergarten, Ron Stoppable, is getting a little jealous. He's getting a little jealous. And then you're like, oh my God, best friends to lovers alert. If you've never seen it, it's a cute little watch, very nostalgic. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. She's the Man. Amanda Bynes, classic 2000s comedy. Are there like 3 or 4 offensive jokes? Sure. But hey, it was 2006. Who cares? Not me. Amanda Bynes, Channing Tatum are the two main leads. If you don't know, it's based on a Shakespeare play that is escaping me. I don't know which one it is. Basically, if you don't know, Amanda Bynes has a twin brother, and he goes to England, and they go to 2 separate boarding schools. And at her boarding school, they cut the girls' soccer team. Can you believe it? And then that school said girls can't play on the boys' team, and she's pissed because she loves soccer. She is a girl that loves to kick a ball around. What can you say? And so her twin brother is gone. She pretends to be her twin brother at this boarding school, dresses all up like Sebastian to get on the boys' soccer team. Feminism. Can you believe it? My least favorite part of this movie is, spoiler alert, this isn't a spoiler at all actually, when she's playing soccer with her hair down. Girl, put your hair up. This is ridiculous. That's the most unrealistic part of this movie. This might be a hot take, folks. I watched We Live in Time, starring Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, which was a big selling point for me. I was like, well, I love this man, I love this woman. Surely I would love the film. And I think that I went into it too hyped up because I watched it and I went, this is just a movie. Nothing special. Which is fine. And that's all I really have to say is like, I was like, people were like, you're gonna cry. I didn't cry. Granted, I was watching with two of my friends, so maybe I wasn't as emotionally engrossed as I could have been if I watched it by myself. But it was not like a life-changing rom-com to me. It's not even a rom-com. If they like want it to be a rom-com, but it's more of a drama. But then, folks, one of my favorite movies of the year, I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie, Allison Janney, Sebastian Stan, probably some other people that I'm forgetting. Granted, it was Oscar nominated. I think Allison Janney won the Oscar for it. Like, I knew it was good. And I was enthralled. And I didn't really know the story of Tanya's last name is escaping me. Oh my god. Sorry, I didn't do any research before this. But it is just so good. And it's just like so like womanhood. Like you're watching it and I was sobbing and I was like, being a woman is so complicated and it's just so good. If you have never seen it, Margot Robbie is an incredible actress and gives an incredible performance in this film. If you have a moment to spare, watch I, Tonya. Moving on to March. I didn't watch a single movie in March. Ooh. Moving on to April then. I watched the The Electric State, which is a Netflix film starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. And you could guess it, it's not good. But I had fun. It was really silly. It was about like this world, it's like kind of post-apocalyptic, sort of. I don't really know what their time frame is, but it's like humans versus robots. And the robots used to help us, but now they don't want to be our servants anymore. So they've been sequestered to this whole like field space called the Electric State. But Millie Bobby Brown's brother has been missing. And then this random robot comes and talks to her somehow, communicates with her, and then she realizes that this robot either knows where or is her brother. So then she tries to go follow this robot and she has to like defeat the military and Chris Pratt is there, I don't remember why. But it's really silly and it's not very good, but I had fun. Talk about a life-changing rom-com. I watched About Time, which I have heard incredible things about, and everybody was right. I loved that film. It is an incredible story about life and love and loss. And was I crying? Yeah, I was. And you would be too if you watched it. If you have not seen About Time, granted, I know I'm late to the party. It came out in 2013, but it is such a good movie from start to finish. There is not a time where I'm checking my watch to be like, is this done? Ugh. It's basically about these two people meeting, and one of them, the man, has the ability to go back in time, but only in his own life. So he can only go to a moment in his own life, and it's basically about this person's love story and this man using his gift, his family gift, in that relationship. And there's quirks and there's sillies and there's goofs, but there's also like really beautiful, heartwarming moments. Next, Wedding Crashers. I was feeling like watching a 2000s comedy. I had never seen it. Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn. Is it offensive? Are there some offensive jokes in there? Yeah. Did I have fun watching it? Yeah, I did. It's just a classic 2000s comedy. It's just like so fun. And that's the stamp I'm gonna put on it. Fun. They're just guys that crash weddings, and they go to this one wedding and they just get themselves in too deep with the family. And then it's all the like hijinks of that, getting involved with the family when they're lying about who they are because they were never really meant to be at the wedding. And it's just like so silly, so fun, so cute. I love the 2000s era. Okay, hear me out. I had seen the press, the hype for this movie, Baby Girl. Okay, I was like, okay, sexy moment film. It's basically about a like high level boss played by Nicole Kidman and like her employee that's like young and hot. And they're like in this like weird affair relationship where he's like really dominating her. And like in the moment, you're like, wow, okay. But also, I don't know if I've ever seen a movie with Nicole Kidman in it, and I don't know if it's the dialogue. It has to be because she's like critically acclaimed. But she was awful in this film. It was awful. But the man, oh my God, what's his name? Harris Dickinson. I was like, okay, Harris. Then I was like, okay, let me watch another movie with Harris. But Baby Girl, I would not recommend. Do not watch it. Don't watch it. Not worth your time. So then I was like, okay, Harris, you're kind of cute. So then I watched Triangle of Sadness, and I could not pay attention. It was all over the place. I don't know if I was in a bad mood because I watched Baby Girl and then I watched this right after. But like, I could not keep it together. I could not keep my eyes on the screen. I was just like so over it. It just felt so slow. And then the plot changed. So basically, if I'm remembering correctly, it's about this couple that are on a cruise and it goes fucking awful. And then they get marooned on an island and it's also awful there. And like they didn't like connect me to the characters. Like I didn't feel attached to any of the characters. It was just like so choppy. And I might be an outlier in this, but I did not enjoy the film. I went to a double feature, whatever, with my friends. The first movie was The Legend of Ochi. I'll say this, we did show up late because we had traffic. Uncontrollable traffic, so I think we missed maybe the first 30 minutes of the movie, maybe more. But I showed up to the film and I couldn't tell you what the movie was about. Willem Dafoe was in it and he was like chasing these goblins because his daughter ran away. But like, it was not a good movie. So sorry. I did not enjoy it. I did not feel connected to the characters. Again, is it because I missed the first 30 minutes of character building? I don't know. Either way, all I know is that I would like to never see it again. But then, the second movie in the doubleheader was Sinners. And as we all know, Sinners is one of the best movies of the year, and I had the time of my life. Anyone that didn't see Sinners in the theater, I would like to wish you a sincere apology. It was an out-of-body experience watching this film in the theater. If there's ever a world in which it comes out in the theater again, you must see it in the theater. If you do not know somehow what Sinners is, it is a film, I'm not sure the time period, it gives like 20s, 30s, 40s, I don't know, in the South, and the lead is Michael B. Jordan playing twins, and basically they're opening a juke, which is just like a joint to sing, dance, and drink, and lo and behold, some danger strikes in the guise of some folks who are from out of town. And it is a genre of horror movie. It has a little bit of a few jump scares, but like it is just so well done. It's just so well done. Music is sewn into this film incredibly. They use Ryan Coogler. God, so sorry if I'm saying his last name, does an incredible job directing this film. It is just, Haley Steinfeld is in it too. If you have not seen it, I know I'm not the only person trying to sell it to you. Just watch it. Just sit down, rent it for $4.99, and watch the film. First movie I watched in May was After Sun, starring Paul Mescal. And this movie, when I was watching it, I felt like, this is kind of slow. It's kind of boring. But on the other side of the movie, once the movie was done, it didn't make me cry. Once the movie was done, it is another just like slice of life. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's about a girl who's on vacation with her dad, just the two of them. I don't know what country they're in, but they're just like in a hotel, just the two of them. And it is just like so slice of life. Like, nothing big is happening. They're just two people that love each other, father and daughter, on vacation. And she gets up to like a few shenanigans, as you would if you were a kid on vacation. I don't know what he's wrestling with, but it's just such, I don't know what it is this year. I just love a slice of life. Like, you just get plopped right in there, and it's like you're a fly on the wall for just regular life. So I would recommend. And then Thunderbolts, which in the moment I remember really liking it. But as I am looking back on the experience now, I literally don't remember what happened in the film, so I clearly couldn't have liked it that much. So I genuinely don't have anything to say because I do not remember what happened in the film. So sorry to Marvel, so sorry. And then I saw Final Destination Bloodlines, which was just so fun. If you don't know what Final Destination is, the vibe is there is a large tragedy that happens. For example, in the first film, it is a plane crash, and there is a main character that has a premonition seeing a disaster happen. For example, in the first film, it is a plane crash. The main character sees a vision of the plane crashing. He freaks out and says, this plane is going to crash. We need to get off this plane. Anyone that gets off the plane lives. The plane crash happens, and then because you messed with the Death and his plan, all the people that survived are now marked and will die because Death is chasing them. And the like quirky part of Final Destination is like, that is the plot every single time. Without fail, that is the plot. And the fun comes in with how the people die. Because it's always in this like crazy Rube Goldberg machine kind of convoluted way that they die. And they're all shot very similarly, and they are just so fun. So if you like Final Destination, I will say it's supposed to be a horror movie. You feel like a little bit unsettled, but it's also like kind of a comedy. It's kind of really campy, and it is gory. So like if you have issues with like body horror or gore in that way, I would not watch it, but it is really fun. Final Destination Bloodlines just felt so silly because Final Destination is just so silly. So it just felt really fun to see in theaters because I wasn't seeing them in theaters when they came out. I don't think I was old enough. So it was really fun. I would recommend it. It's basically the plot of Final Destination, but there's like a few generations involved. So that's really fun. And then because the Lilo and Stitch remake was coming out, I didn't know if I was going to see it or not, but I watched Lilo and Stitch, which again is a near perfect film. I might honestly call it perfect. If you haven't seen it, it is a story about an alien criminal who has escaped his prison, and he has escaped to Earth. And then he is adopted by a little girl named Lilo as a dog. So aliens pretend to be a dog, and it's just a story about how it's okay to mess up. Like, it's okay to do bad things sometimes because we all make mistakes, but you're still worthy of love and you're still good, and it's okay sometimes bad things happen to good people. And it's just such a heartwarming story. And I never saw the remake because I heard it was terrible. And this movie is really, really special to me personally. And I just don't need it tainted like that. Oh! And then I watched Conclave. Switch it up. I watched Conclave because everybody said it was good. And guess what? It was good. Conclave, if you haven't seen it, it has a star-studded cast of people's names I don't remember. But it basically is about the Pope passing away and the selection process to choose the new Pope. And it was just like so, oh my god, and that's the drama. Because people are like, these people want to vote for this person because of this drama and then this secret drama. It's very political, and you're very much like in the gossip because you're trying to figure out like who's reliable. Like, is the narrator reliable? Is this character reliable? Like, what information is fact? It's just like so well done. And I was like so riveted by it. So if you have time, I would recommend. And then I watched this documentary called The Pixar Story, just basically about the beginning of Pixar, because because I really care about Pixar animation very deeply in my soul. I don't know why I care so deeply, but this documentary brought me a lot of joy just about how Pixar started. If you're interested in that, I would recommend. It's a really quick watch. And then I watched Clueless. Had never seen it, and I had fun. Paul Rudd, but then I'll say this: aren't they brother and sister? I'm confused, but I did have fun. It was very just for the girls. It was honestly for the girls. If you haven't seen it, I don't fully remember the plot, so sorry. It's about a popular girl. That's all I remember, and maybe she's messing up, but I don't remember fully. So sorry, but it's like fun. It's a fun little movie, and I'd recommend. And then guess what came out on streaming? Wicked, and I watched it again. And all I have to say about Wicked is pink goes good with green. And then I watched Now You See Me, which I had never seen, starring Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, one of the Franco brothers, Morgan Freeman. And it's basically just about a group of magicians that get told by a higher force to expose billionaires and big people that are corrupt with their magic shows because they can't be caught because they're cool, awesome magicians. I would recommend. It's a really fun watch. It's like not too serious. It's kind of silly, a little bit campy. And it's just a really fun watch. And then I watched The Hunger Games Catching Fire because it is incredible cinema. If you are somehow not in the Hunger Games world, it is basically the second iteration of the original trilogy, the second book, where if you don't know the Hunger Games, it's basically a post-apocalyptic world in which the government has children fight to the death for entertainment. And in the second one, these children are chosen from people that had previously won the Hunger Games to show the citizens that no one is safe from the government's grip. And it is just a beautiful, beautiful film. I don't have words to describe how much, like, this film brings me. If you have never seen any of the Hunger Games films, put this one on, and that's enough. Put this one on, and that's enough. You're in. And you don't have to see any of the other ones. You can just watch this one. And you'll pick it up. Like, it's Catching Fire is just good. Sorry. Here's something about me. How to Train Your Dragon is my favorite movie on this earth. And when I heard wind of the remake, I said, fine. Fine. Remake my favorite movie, the live action remake. Fine. And so when I went to see it, I went to see it in IMAX. Why? Because I love that score. So I said, play it to me in the good speakers. And I'll tell you this, it's literally like a shot-for-shot rendition of the original film, except, sorry, I've seen the original 150 times, but there's literally a plot point in the original movie. If you don't know How to Train Your Dragon, it's basically Viking times, and there's dragons, and the dragons are the enemy of these Vikings, and then there's the son of the Viking chief, Hiccup, he's a little different. And he can't kill a dragon. And he shoots one out of the sky, injures it, and then becomes very good friends with the dragon. And then is learning that dragons aren't monsters that are trying to kill us. They're just creatures on this earth like us, and we don't need to kill them. And there's a whole montage where Hiccup is learning traits about dragons that's helping him learn so much more about dragons and how they're so unique and different and special. And in that montage, there's a scene where Hiccup and Toothless is the name of his dragon, are on an island, and there's a lot of smaller dragons. And one of the smaller dragons tries to take a fish from Toothless, and then Toothless spits fire into the smaller dragon's mouth, and then Hiccup has a line that says, not so fireproof on the inside. And that might seem like a really small scene to you, but cut to the end of the movie, I'm going to spoil it, there is a battle between Hiccup and Toothless riding together against a giant dragon that is basically the queen bee of the dragon hive. And how they win this battle is basically by Toothless spitting fire inside of this big dragon's mouth. And that makes sense in the original because we watched Hiccup learn that that is a thing about dragons, that is a weakness. In the live-action remake, that scene doesn't exist, which then creates a plot hole of how does Hiccup know that he can do this to win this battle with this giant dragon. Sorry. I watched Red Eye, which is a little bit of a thriller directed by Wes Craven, starring Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams. And the vibe is it starts very meet cute. They meet on a plane, and then they meet in the airport, and then, whoa, this guy that was flirting with me at the bar is actually sat next to me on a plane. And then it takes a little bit of a turn, and maybe there is I don't want to spoil it. So I'm not going to say anything else because I will literally spoil the movie. If you like a thriller, you'll like it, okay? It's not a perfect movie, but it is so fun. So watch it. Then I watched Eddington. I saw this when I was visiting my family, and I hated it, and it was so long and drawn out. I also think it was like about a small town during COVID, and I lived in a small town during COVID. So it was like a little bit too, I don't want to say too soon, but literally too soon. I was literally, like things that were happening in the movie, I was literally living 4 years ago. So I was like, I hate this so much actually. And I wouldn't recommend the film because I literally couldn't follow it. And I don't know if it's because I was not as locked in as I needed to be, or if there were too many twists and turns, but there were things that my family was talking to me about after, and I was like, how did you know that? How did you know that? Which is is it me or is it a bad movie? I don't know. I wouldn't recommend Eddington. So sorry to all those involved. Then I saw Fantastic Four: First Steps, which I saw it at this movie theater that is a dine-in theater that looks so luxurious from the outside, and then it was kind of grungy on the inside. So that was really bugging me. The seats were peeling, and I was like, this is not the vibe. But the movie was the vibe. I thought it was so fun. It was just it just felt oh god, this is so annoying. Old school Marvel, silly, goofy fun, kind of medium stakes. This is so fun. It was just a fun movie. It was funny. It was evenly paced. I wasn't oh my god, let's wrap this up. It was just so fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed Fantastic Four. And you know what it did? Got me on a Marvel kick. So I was watching Marvel movies. Then I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, which is one of my favorite Marvel movies. If you don't know, it's about a ragtag bunch of folks from space that all end up in jail together, and then they have this plan to steal something, and they have to work together. And it's just so fun. That was a terrible synopsis of the movie, but it's if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, just watch it. So sorry, you just need to watch it. Okay, next up, I watched Now You See Me Too. And as I'm thinking about the film right now, I'm pretty sure I watched it on a treadmill. I think I was walking in the gym and I watched it on the treadmill. And unfortunately, I don't remember the plot. But I think it's very similar to the first one, where there's a group of magicians and they're exposing billionaire criminals with their little magic tricks. And it's just really fun. And that's all I have to say about it. It's the same cast, and it's just really silly, goofy. But then, like I said, Marvel. So then I watched Captain America Civil War, which, if you haven't seen it, it is a turning point in the saga where Iron Man and Captain America are pitted against each other because the government wants to control superheroes and give them consequences for their actions. For example, if they're fighting in evil and they accidentally blow up a building, they should be held accountable for that. And Iron Man is like, yes, I'll do it. And Captain America is like, no, let me be free, land of the free, Captain America. And then it's the drama. And then I watched Avengers Infinity War, of course, which is like a big like beginning of the end of like the wrap up of like classic Marvel. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how you're walking this earth, but basically all the Avengers come together. If you don't know who they are, I'll list a few. It's literally every Marvel person is an Avenger, basically, in this movie. They all come together because this bad guy, Thanos, is trying to get these Infinity Stones to get rid of half the population because resources are too thin, and he thinks that he is saving people. So he basically is trying to get all 5 Infinity Stones and snap his little fingers and destroy half the population. And then I watched Avengers Endgame, where the first part of what I just said is all continuing and wrapping up. And it's just such a good conclusion to just the OG Marvel crew. It's just so fun. And I cried. Every time I watch it, I cry. It's just so nostalgic for me. It was just like these 2 films, seeing them in theaters, was just like so riveting and like invigorating, because everyone in there was like ride or die for these films, because I think I saw them opening night, where it was like everyone together was yes! Everyone was clapping, everyone was cheering, everyone was laughing together, and it was just like so... I will be chasing that high for the rest of my life. I watched How to Train Your Dragon 2 because I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I wanted to cry. And guess what? I cried. This is the second iteration of the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, where we're now following Hiccup again, but he has transformed his Viking village, Berk, into everybody loving dragons. So everybody loves dragons now, and Hiccup is like riding on Toothless and then comes across a little trap or something, and he's like, who's trapping dragons? And then he finds out about this big bad guy that's trapping dragons by holding an alpha dragon who's like basically a queen bee of the dragons, and he's like, we need to stop this guy, free the dragons. And then there's a big whole drama. Toothless. Hiccup had originally thought his mother had passed away, had been killed by a dragon. He finds out that his mother is living in a secret cave filled with dragons that she loves dearly. And then he has this whole beautiful moment of like, you're the reason I'm like this, and we're connected, and I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then there's some crazy drama that makes me cry. No spoilers, sorry. But if you like How to Train Your Dragon, you should watch it. Grown-ups. So sorry, it's a classic. Does it make me laugh? Yeah. If you haven't seen it, it's an Adam Sandler comedy. That's all I gotta say. It's a 2000s Adam Sandler comedy. And like I mentioned prior, I'm a sucker for anything filmed in Massachusetts or New England. And guess where this was filmed? Yeah, you betcha. So, sorry. Is it a comfort movie? I don't know if I'd go as far as calling it that, but it's good. Sorry. And then, okay, this might be a hot take, but I saw Weapons in theaters, and I don't know if it was because of my theatrical experience, because I'll tell you this, I was in the second to last row, and the row behind me were two teens that were literally just like on TikTok. So like I could hear them scrolling throughout the whole movie, and then in the far corner there was someone with a baby. A baby. Weapons is a horror movie. And then during the movie, the TikTok teens reported the baby because a theater employee came and escorted the baby out. And then later in the movie, there was another theater employee standing over there on the stairs listening to the TikTok teens on TikTok. So I wasn't fully like locked in on the movie, and maybe that's why I didn't like it. I loved how campy it was. It was like so silly. It was like really silly. I wouldn't call it my movie of the year. I don't ever need to see it again. And I wouldn't say it was bad. I think that it was a little bit tainted by my theater viewing experience, but it is really campy, and it's not like a scary horror movie. It's like an unsettling horror movie that has like a few jump scares. So like if you're like wanting to get into horror movies, I think this is a good one because it's not really like really scary. It's just like a little bit unsettling, but it's also kind of campy, which is fun. And then K-pop Demon Hunters happened, okay? In the month of August, I watched it 4 times. Sorry, I love a musical. I'm a sucker for animation, I'm a sucker for girl power, and I'm a sucker for animation. And a musical. I don't know what order I just said that in. But K-pop Demon Hunters, animated, girl power, musical. Obviously, I love it. Sorry. If you haven't seen it, it's basically about these 3 girlies in this K-pop group that are also demon hunters. So they hunt the demons that basically come from the underworld, and they keep us safe. And the way they can keep us safe forever is by turning the Honmoon, which is the force field, gold. So the golden Honmoon is what they're working towards with their beautiful voices. And it's just, they have some killer songs and there's some killer action sequences. And if you have an hour and 40 minutes to spare, I would highly recommend watching it. Sorry, it's good. I went to the theater and I saw Honey Don't, starring Aubrey Plaza. Well, it's starring Aubrey Plaza. I think she's secondary in it. And it was okay. It was okay. I like wanted more from it, and I don't fully remember the plot, so that's probably not helpful. But like, you don't need to watch it. Like, it was just fine. Oh! And then I watched Twisters. Okay, let me lay this down for you. Twisters, I was like, okay, that's fun. I watched it and I went, okay, I get the Glen Powell hype. And then I was on a little bit of a Glen Powell kick. Watched some press. I was like, hey, this guy's kind of funny. And then I watched his SNL and I went, this guy is funny and a weirdo. I get it. So I get the Glen Powell hype. Twisters was a great movie. I think about it probably every 2 weeks and go, should I watch that again? Have I? No. But it's literally just so fun. If you don't know, Twisters is technically a sequel to the first one, even though it has nothing to do with the first one. It's basically about storm chasers. There's this one girl that has been chasing storms forever, and then there's this other guy, Glen Powell, who is like an influencer storm chaser, and then they cross paths. And it is literally just so fun. So sorry to Glen Powell. I was a hater, but I get it. And then I watched Knives Out. I had never seen it. And I'm a sucker for Chris Evans. Why, you may ask? Because he's from basically my hometown. So I'm a sucker for him. He would be around when I was a teenager. People would see him at the grocery store. So anything he does, I'm a sucker for. So he was also in Honey Don't. That's why I went to see it. Oh, I forgot. But Knives Out was good. The people said it was good, and the people were right. I had fun. It's basically just a classic whodunit, but it's just like really campy. I've been using campy a lot. I don't even know if I'm using it right. Knives Out is just really fun. It's like a star-studded cast. Do I know their names? No. So sorry. But if you haven't seen it, I would recommend. Okay, then here comes this random outlier of a film called Snack Shack, which is set in the early 2000s or the 90s. I'm not 100% sure. About just like these 2 teenage boys running a snack shack at a pool. And because I am a girl, I had the teenage girl experience. And this just felt really eye-opening. Not eye-opening. It was just like I loved watching the teenage boy experience because they were being like shitheads, yeah. But then there was also like, oh, his first crush. Oh, these like feelings that I had. But it was nice to see it like, oh, it's universal. Like, it's everybody, which, like, in theory I knew. But also, it was tugging on my heartstrings. I literally cried. So if you're looking for, like, another slice of life nostalgia movie, this is the one for you. Again, called Snack Shack. And what did I watch? Wonka. Because my favorite white boy of the month, Timothée Chalamet, is in Wonka. And I said, oh, I haven't seen it, I'll watch it. It was so silly. So silly. If you've never seen it, you simply just have to see it to say you've seen it. Because it is just the most ridiculous film. Like, it's so goofy silly. I, like, can't even describe to you the plot. It's basically like Willy Wonka is, like, up-and-coming candy maker. And that's it. It's just, like, so silly. Like, the world of wherever he lives, not Wonkaville, but wherever he lives, is just so silly. And because I watched Wonka, of course I had to watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971, starring Gene Wilder, because it is one of my all-time favorite films. If you haven't seen it, you must. It is incredible. If you don't know the story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's basically Willy Wonka is a famous candy maker. He has a beautiful candy factory, and he sends out 5 golden tickets across the world for 5 children to find a golden ticket. Then you get to tour his factory. 5 children win. Veruca Salt, Mike TV, Augustus Gloop, Violet Beauregard, and Charlie Bucket. And they all get one adult with them, and they all have a very distinct personality, and they go into the chocolate factory and basically break the rules because of who they are as children. And it's just so silly and heartwarming, and if you haven't seen it, you have not lived. Please watch it. And then I watched Scooby-Doo, the live action from 2002, which is, again, just an incredible film. If you've never seen it, that is crazy. It is classic Scooby-Doo hijinks. It's literally a Scooby-Doo mystery, but live action. It's so silly and so fun and so funny. I don't know how to, it's basically like they go to Spooky Island to solve a mystery of why teens are disappearing. And there's just classic Scooby-Doo hijinks. And then I watched Wicked again. No, I didn't watch Wicked again. Okay, hold on. I didn't watch any movies in October, apparently. So skip to November. I watched Wicked : for good. And let me tell you, I had a great time. This is the thing. People are like, did you like the first one or the second one? It's not 2 movies. It's one story. It's one cohesive story. There's not one or the other. It's a full 6-hour film. I like them the same amount, but for different reasons. And it was just beautiful. I love women. I love friendship. I love love. I love singing. And that's that on that. And then, okay, I went on this Thanksgiving trip with my friends, and Hangover Part 2 was on the TV. Did I want to watch it? No. Was it on the TV, and did I watch it? Yeah. I've got nothing to say. And then, throwback to Final Destination. We're on a Final Destination kick, so we watched Final Destination 2, 3, and half of 4. And like I mentioned earlier, Final Destination is just so silly quirky. It's the same plot every time. I really liked 2 and 3. I didn't really like 4, and we didn't finish it. Like, I don't know if it was just like that time of media, but 4, the CGI was just like so CGI that it's like we were probably at that time in movies where it was like, look what we can do with CGI. So it's just like really bad. Like graphics, I just don't like it. And then I watched Wicked, the first one. again, on streaming. Then I watched The Princess Diaries, which is, again, a perfect film starring Anne Hathaway, if you've never seen it. It is basically the story of a regular teenage girl that is told that she is the princess of Genovia by her estranged grandmother, and then she's basically in training to become a princess. And it's just so good. It's so good. If you have an hour and a half to spare, you must watch it. It is Anne Hathaway's debut, her beginning of being a movie star. And then I saw Zootopia 2 in theaters because I was told it was very good. And I was told correctly, it was very good. It was so fun. You know how sometimes a sequel, you're like, ooh, is it going to be the same thing again? It kind of was, but it kind of wasn't. It was just like so fun. It was so fun, and I didn't feel like it was like fan service or whatever. It felt like a whole new story. It was cohesive with characters I cared about. There was like a good twist in it. I just really liked it, and if you have time to see it, I would recommend. And that's a wrap on every movie I watched in 2025. In 2026, I'm hoping to watch 50 new movies, 50 movies I have never seen before. So keep an eye out for that next year. But thank you for watching. If you're still watching, can't believe you watched to this point. I have so much fun watching movies. I have so much fun talking to myself. I cannot wait to post more on YouTube. That's one of my goals this year. So keep an eye on my channel. Maybe there'll be a video or two, who knows? But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have an incredible day.